Hello and welcome back to All Things Money. I'm your host, David Blain. Thank you for joining us today, the week after Christmas and the week before New Year's. This is one of the busiest times of the year for me and my firm as we try to wrap up things for the end of the year. I hope you all out there are able to take a little bit easy this week and enjoy the holiday season. During the first segment, we were talking about the GDP and how the numbers get revised constantly for several months after they're initially released. So if you missed it, head on over to the web in a week or so, www.dlblain.com. There we'll post archives of the show and you can hear what we had to say. During this segment, we want to talk about a little bit about the big business of college. You don't hear a lot about this. As we know, the educational system in America has gone downhill pretty much since the 50s, certainly at the elementary and high school level. Now there are some bright spots, but as a whole we've been declining in relevance throughout the world. And at the college level, you know, you hear the mantra, you got to go to college, get a degree to get a good job. And what we see at the college level is it's really big business. On a side note, I was looking at some of the information on these football, the bowls that are coming up that you're going to be watching. And the big ones were part of what they call the Bowl Championship Series. The payout that the teams receive for these bowls is extravagant. $18 million per team for the two teams that go to the Bowl Championship Series, $17 million per team for the other bowls besides the national championship game. If you don't think college is big business, you're missing something. If you go to any, whether it's our North Carolina, I mean, look at even our colleges in North Carolina, NC State, North Carolina, ECU, you know, it's all about football and basketball and the money that they pour into those sports and those programs and the TV deals. And it's this big incestuous relationship that instead of focusing so much on Wall Street, I think somebody needs to focus on the colleges and how our colleges are being run. And this is a perfect example, talking about how some colleges paying their executives millions of dollars at the same time they're hiking tuition on students. And we're going to name a few names just to make this, give it some credence to what we're talking about. But I'm sure there are other, not to pick on these schools, I know there are others out there, but Vanderbilt University paid its chancellor in 2009 $1.9 million, including base pay, bonus, and other compensation. The same year, tuition went up 4.3% and now totals $41,000 a year. That's just absolutely absurd. And this is the crazy thing, his pay in 2009 was actually 21.5% lower than the previous year. So he took a 21% pay cut down to $1.9 million. Quinnipiac University in Connecticut, its president made $1.2 million in 2009, base pay and benefits, and meanwhile they raised their tuition 5% that year and 5% each year after. They now pay $36,000 a year to attend. Emory University, Houston-based Rice University, also paid their presidents more than $1 million while raising their tuition 5%. And so as this whole protest movement about student loan debt and things like that is out there, I think we need to take a look at the way colleges are run as businesses and the presidents function as basically overpriced CEOs. And this study that I'm referring to done by, they surveyed 519 private colleges with budgets over $50 million, and 36 of the presidents earned more than $1 million in 2009. Up slightly from 33 presidents who topped $1 million the previous year. Of course, they get base salary and they get deferred compensation, retirement packages, health plan. A lot of them get sabbatical leave where they get to take a year off or so. Now, even more interesting than these extremely high was the median compensation was $385,000 The median base salary was 294%. So when you're talking about the top 1%, the college presidents, the majority of them fall in that arena. And when you look at tuition raised went up by 4.3% in 2009. Now, they increased 4.5% for 2010 and 4.6% for the current year. Now, if you look at the inflation rate, any of you out there receiving Social Security or something like that, you may have noticed that during those years there was no increase in Social Security because, as you know, the general inflation rate has been very modest, or in fact, we were concerned about some deflation, but yet colleges keep raising the costs at a much higher rate than inflation. It's a phenomenon that's been going on for some time, yet the value of a degree and the value of our college education continues to go down. The University of Pennsylvania, here's another one, earned their tuition and fees have surged 37% over the past 7 years, and the president earned $1.3 million in total compensation. So it's not just the excesses on Wall Street. We talked a little bit about the excesses in government. One day, the average salary of a government worker in D.C. area is about $150,000, and we see here, you know, the median pay of private college presidents is well into the 1%, you know, over $300,000. So we need to take a look at these things and determine if that's the best thing for our educational system. Well, that's all the time we have for the second segment. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about some things to look forward to next year for taxes. So for All Things Money, I'm your host, David Blain, and we'll be right back.